It's a pleasure to have you join us again on the program Healthy Living. I'm Adesu Sawage, and in the last 3-4 weeks we'll be doing something on your diet because we discovered that our diet have a whole big huge role to play if we have to live healthy, if you want to live long, and research have shown that your food can kill you. That food you cook by yourself and buy with your own money can actually kill you. It can make you sick, and you may not recover if you don't do the needful. And that food can also heal you. That is why we're trying to promote healthy living amongst workers, particularly those who work in corporate organization. Yes, we're going to look at using food in the proper way that will make you live healthy, because we tend to live a sedentary life, you know, particularly when we are at work. Some of us sit on our desks from morning until you close at night. And what do you eat? How does that food affect you? These are many more we're going to be looking at today. And I have a delectable lady in the house who's going to be talking to us on this issue. She's Susan Akpomere, and she's the founder of Healthy Dietary Feast. Happy to have you join us.
Good afternoon.
And you look good.
Thank you so much.
This your work is working for you. Please let it work for me too, so that I can look good.
Sure, thank you, Ma.
Yes, so happy to have you on the program.
Thank you so much, Ma.
All right, we've made our introduction. Research have shown that most people, as a result of sedentary life, particularly those of us who sit at the desk from morning until evening or even till very late, tend to come, like most people tend to come down with some diseases related to sedentary life, so to speak, where you don't do something that will make you sweater. So yes, you task your brain, but you know, we sit in the AC and all of that, and then at the end of the day you go home. Day in, day out is always like that. And before you know what is happening, somebody is coming down with one ailment or the other, and you're beginning to wonder. And you know, in this part of the world, we have a way of saying, they shoot them. Get them, you know, he match them, that kind of thing. He dream them for dream, you know. That's what we do in this part of this world. Not taking into cognizance that most of those things are our handiwork, so to speak. So talk to me. Eating healthy at office place, what does it entail? What does it mean, and what does it entail?
In a healthy living for people who work in the office space is so important. And I feel like it's one place that a lot of people don't really pay attention to, because we pursue money, we want to make money, we want to hit our goals, corporate deadlines staring us in the face, and then there's so much pressure about, you know, hitting a lot of things we want to do in the workplace. And then we get home, we almost don't remember that we have our lives and that we don't have lifeline. And then we begin to suffer, no lifeline. And then we begin to suffer our bodies, and we don't pay attention to these things, the things we eat in the office, the things we eat when we get home, because we are so busy. And then the bad thing is, from AC house to AC car to an AC office to AC mall, maybe we'll go to maybe Allmark, for example. So we don't even have that space.
Let me appeal to you now. Please don't do adverts for people.
All right,
else you will pay. Yes, just leave it at mall and
so we go to the shopping malls, and then we don't get to exert ourselves. And at the end of the day, our blood pressure is hitting like dangerous figures.
Over the roof sometimes without us knowing.
And then someone the one day in the office just slumps, and they're wondering what happened, what went wrong. The person even know that he or she is diabetic or hypertensive due to bad dietary choices. Now, in the workplace, one of the things we always advise people is, as much as you're trying to hit your goals, make money, don't forget that if anything happens to you today, you will be replaced.
Definitely. You
will be replaced. Maximum 24 hours, you're out of the place. And so that's why you need to pay attention to your diet. What do you eat for your breakfast? I will always say breakfast, lunch, dinner is very important. None is all of them are all important to your health.
But which is most important of the three?
All.
You know, sometimes you read and they tell you breakfast is the most important.
Yeah.
Other times they say, okay,
it's lunch.
Just do brunch. You know, it's like that. Sometimes you people in the health sector are very confusing. All right, so tell me, a person who works in a corporate organization, so to speak, is usually very busy, you know, and there's sometimes hardly time for breakfast. Like those who stay in Lagos, like I have a friend who lives in Lagos and leaves the house at 4 a.m. every day. If she doesn't leave 4 a.m., she's going to be in a bad traffic, and she may end up not going to work that day, and that will mean trouble for her. So she basically lives in her car. You know, once it's 4 a.m., she's off to work. No breakfast. Maybe when she gets to the office, she just grab a cup of coffee from somewhere, some snacks and all of that. In the afternoon, same thing. In the evening, you're stuck in traffic. You get home like 10, 11, you're fagged out. Sometimes you just do your dinner in the hold-up. Just get some junks and put them together, and you're done. So what's the proper meal? Like a corporate person now, what's that person supposed to do for breakfast?
Okay, like what would actually solve all of these problems is having a meal plan.
Having a meal plan.
A meal plan, you know, help you to be able to eat at the proper time, and then saves you the whole stress of, you know, trying to cook. For example, I was in Lagos of some weeks ago, and I understand the whole scenario. And one thing you can do is for breakfast, you can have oatmeal, which I would advise something light.
Oatmeal not be African man food now. African man food.
Oatmeal, you can have oatmeal, you can have rice, you can have pasta. These are good breakfast options. Then, or you can even have fruit salad or vegetable salad for breakfast. You know, or bread toast, omelets. You can have boiled eggs.
But, you know, sometimes you're so much in a hurry that you forget breakfast. Most people I know get to the office before they eat.
Yeah.
Because, you know, sometimes some person is going to leave the house at 4.
Yeah.
If you're going to open the radio, you're going to leave your house, maybe max 4:30 already. That is if you live close to the office. Max 4:30, you've left the house already so that you can open the station, say, before 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
And you may not have the time to do breakfast until, say, 12, noon.
So,
you know?
You can have fruit bites for maybe you don't get to eat breakfast as early as 7, but we would advise breakfast because it sets the tone of your day.
Okay.
Yes, and it also gives you the floor to begin your day. Most times when you skip breakfast, it affects the body. Most people get to the office, they're tired. They've not even started the day, they are already tired because they don't have enough fuel to begin the day. So having fruit bites, having salad. So even if you can't cook in the morning, you can order for these things. Order for fruit salads, or you make them in batches in your fridge. That will help.
You're making me laugh.
Honestly,
okay, look at, no, you know that we have a peculiar situation here in this country. You make all of these things, you stock them in the fridge. By the time you get back from work, they've all gone bad. Why? Because no power. And of course, you can't leave your gen running while you're at work.
Yeah, that's true.
So what is practicable and obtainable in the face of this surrounding challenges like no power? Fruits are quite expensive in this part of the world. Very so. And we've been advised not to even take some of these fruits because they were forced to ripe. Using carbide and other harmful chemicals, you know. So you see that we are, let me not use that word now. We're in a
very interesting situation.
Okay, let me say very interesting and annoying situation, so to speak.
So that's why I said ordering all of these things can help, actually. So if you are scared of, oh, if I get home, I won't get to see life. Because the truth is this. Now, as much as people say things like healthy living is expensive, fruits are expensive, but we forget that drugs too are expensive to treat situations. Very
so.
So if you want to look at the expensive, you have to choose one expensive.
Put them on the scale.
So do I want to buy drugs and be treating sicknesses, or I want to use fruits that seemingly look expensive? Because if you look at these things, how much is cucumber?
Okay.
Cucumber is like, one cucumber of like 100 naira is enough to last you a day. Okay. How much is apple? 120. If you are in Nigeria,
200, 250.
But drugs to treat issues are not that amount. So I think the key thing is priority.
Okay.
My health is on the line. If anything happens to me today, I'll go in for it. So whether or not I understand the peculiar situations, okay, fruit this, but we still have to choose our expensive.
True.
And then prioritize our health and diet. So if you cannot cook, ensure what you are ordering for is healthy.
Okay.
So you want to have fruit salad, you want to have vegetable salad, you want to have rice. And also, I think one of the issues we also have here is that we tend to overeat. And that, yes, we tend to overeat. And that's why portion control is key.
Okay.
And that's something that I get to help people do in my services. Help people eat within regularized portion where you don't get to overeat. Because as much as we say things like eat healthy, eat fruit, there's another angle to that situation where people tend to overeat in these scenarios. And that in itself too is a major cause of why people, you know, are exposed to health conditions like, you know, diabetes, tend to be overweight because of this. So as much as we say, okay, eat healthy, eat pasta, eat this, you still need to eat them in good portions so that you don't get it.
So what do you consider good portion when you're taking breakfast now? Let's start from there.
Okay.
What do you consider a good portion for breakfast?
So good for me, I'll tell you, you know, when we said this before, like, that's too small. I'll tell you 2 to 3 slices of bread in the morning and a cup of tea is enough. And tea enough. Here is not beverage. Okay. No, when we say tea, most of what people hear is Milo, milk, and the like.
You're calling names again,
oh, sorry.
Please,
sorry,
don't put me in trouble.
Oh, sorry, beverages.
Okay, we're looking at chocolate beverages.
Yes, chocolate
now.
beverages and all that. But
and you're talking about tea in tea bags.
Tea bags. Those are the teas.
Those tea bags
yes.
now.
And then less sugar. I think that's another thing we have here. We consume lots of sugar. Lots. In our teas, in our, you know, our sodas, our soft drinks, you know, and our pastries. I think one issue we have here in Africa is sugar consumption. So we want to take tea, for example. We are having like 5-6 spoons of sugar. That's too much. And that is even not okay in itself.
You know, in beverages these days, there's a lot of sugar in it already, and some persons will add more.
They'll still add more sugar. They say it's not sweet. And then we expose ourselves to high blood sugar in the long run. Come up will tell you, oh, I know someone, nothing happened to the person. Are you sure?
Do you have the same metabolism?
Exactly. Do you know their medical history and all of that? And some people are come from families where it's in their own, you know, bloodline and all that. So that in itself too is a problem. So as much as, okay, as a corporate worker, you're exerting yourself physically, mentally, you still need to also put attention on your sugar intake. People become overweight, not because of fat, they become overweight from refined sugar intake, and that in itself is a very major issue.
You know, when you live a sedentary life, you tend to be obese.
Yeah.
All right, very much so. And initially, some of us will say, it's in the bloodline. I said, we'll be for our family. You know, we are like in our family. Until you get to that point in your life where you have to, like, maybe as a result of research, as a result of programs like this on television. I know a couple of persons have called me to say that, Ade, how you doing? I should open a consultancy to tell them how I do, you know. So now you've told us about breakfast. You know, some persons leave the house without food and they get to the office, and most often the time what our canteens will offer in the morning is rice, beans, eba, all of those things. So what should we eat when you cannot get sliced bread or toast bread or whatever bread, whatever three slices of bread? Wow. Okay, if we cannot get that in the morning, bread is quite expensive now. If you cannot get that in the morning, what is somebody to do when you have food like eba, Santana in the morning? Most canteens do that, then rice. Then once in a while, beans and plantain.
Okay, so
what is one supposed to do in that morning? In
a case like that, please eat rice. Please. Eba in the morning is a no-no. That's way too heavy for breakfast.
For breakfast.
Okay, that can serve for lunch, but for breakfast it's a no.
You can't even take small, like this small.
It will be good for lunch.
So it's not good for breakfast. But you know that in most African homes, that is what is eaten.
Yeah.
Eba. You know, I was at a bakery the other day, and somebody walked in to say, "This long bread, how much?" And the person said, 1,000 naira. And the man looked at the bread. I'm sure he was thinking, this bread, my family.
Yeah.
Then he was kind of trying to measure. He said, no, if I buy one rubber of gari, 1,000, it will go. That is just the reality on the ground.
Yeah.
It is not everybody that can. Okay, so let's go ahead now. Let's look at the issue of sedentary life leading to diabetes, hypertension, muscular, skeletal problems, and other times cardiovascular issues. How do we deal with all of this using food?
All right, so we talked about, like you mentioned, about sedentary life. We said earlier that most persons from AC house to AC office to AC everywhere.
But they work. It's not as if they don't work. They work seriously.
So and this is where, like really advise people.
Yes.
If you work in an office where you have to be in a place from morning till evening, you may need to ensure you walk 30 minutes daily. People see trekking as stuff ahead. They tell you trekking is stuff ahead. It's not actually. But you only advise at least 4,000 to 10,000 steps daily. Okay. Find a way to walk. So for when we say when you are sedentary, you don't get to move, you don't get to exercise yourself. You expose your body to a manner of issues, arthritis, heart problems, and the likes. Like I mentioned earlier, what even makes this worse is the diet part. Truth is, your diet makes up 80% of healthy living.
The diet?
Yes, it's that powerful.
Okay.
80% for healthy living. The old exercise and the other ones will take 20%. So it means that if your diet is right, every other thing is easy to manage it. Yes. Okay. And once your diet is wrong, exercise cannot save you. So, and that's why it's good to pay attention to the things that you eat. I mentioned earlier the issue of sugar. Our sugar intake is something that we need to begin to look into seriously. And
that happens a lot in workplace.
Because you come in the morning, you've not had breakfast, next thing you want to take pastries and soft drinks.
A bottle of soft drink.
To quickly help yourself. Sometimes in a day, you may have consumed up to like 3-4 bottles
of soft
drinks just because you're tired, you're exerting yourself and all of that. And that's why eating good breakfast, good lunch, good dinner would help. It has a way helps to ensure that you are not consuming all of this. Now, stress is another thing that, if not properly managed, can cause a lot of problems. Because that's why a lot of people actually consume these things. Stress, they're tired, and they begin to consume a manner of things.
Like the picture you're seeing on air, and that is the typical picture of a corporate worker. If you're not eating this for breakfast, you're eating it for lunch. Let's go grab a pizza and some cans of drink, and then you're there, you know, having fun with all of that.
And this in itself, this that we're seeing right now, is why a lot of people, before they are 40, become hypertensive or become diabetic because of things like this. And that's why we need to, so your lunch, as much as we say, okay, eat good lunch, we're not saying that go and eat 5 wraps of fufu and 20 pieces of meat because that was available. No, you want to cut down on your intake of refined sugar, processed food. You want to cut down on your intake of, you know, all of these things. Like we usually advise, moderation is key. Moderation is so important. As much as we say things like eat healthy, is key. And also, let me add this. Ensure you drink lots of water daily. We usually advise 2 to 3 liters of water every day. 2 to 3 liters of water every day. Now, if you take the needed water daily, you will take less of soda, and you will likely not overeat. Because most times, one of the reasons why people are always very tired and they exert themselves is that they are not hydrating properly. When you hydrate properly, it will help to curb overeating. And also, when you don't drink water, one of the things that happen is your brain gets, tired, there's fatigue, You know, and because of that, people now will not know that it's not water they are not taking enough water. They start taking sodas.
Okay.
And that in itself is why they are now exposed to this health condition. So daily ensure your water intake is on point. When you do that, it will help curb these issues. Your brain can function well, your kidneys can function well. Every part of your body needs water to function well.
Okay.
And so this will help, so that you're not consuming so much sugar and all the processed food and all of that, and you're not exposed to health conditions.
Okay, we hear that eating dinner between 6 and 7:30 is the best.
Okay.
But at 6, 7:30, some of us are still working.
Yeah.
That is when we are doing the work. Gone. Let me say that. That is when you're in the heart of work.
Yeah.
Particularly those of us in the media, even bankers,
Yeah.
nurses and doctors and all of that. That is when that is when they get emergencies, that period.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know why.
Yeah.
You know, and at the end of the day, you may not get to your house till 11, 12 midnight, thereabout. And you will be hungry.
Yeah.
As a dietitian, are you asking me not to eat at that time when I get home? Okay, let's do this quickly now before we wrap
Okay,
up.
so now it's a very dicey situation, especially when you have to now why we advise people to eat dinner early is so that your food can digest before you sleep. So the other advice, you take your dinner 2 hours before bedtime, so that you don't start having constipation, indigestion, and all the old issues that can come with that. So if, for example, you left work by 10 p.m. At that time, it's so wrong to start want to eat eba.
Okay.
It will be wrong to want to eat anything heavy. You can already tell that food won't digest properly.
Okay.
And because you are not going to do anything afterwards, you get to sleep, and there's so much
All the
sugar and fat build up.
To
and
go straight to the bloodstream.
Exactly. So
Wow.
in that kind of situation, please eat vegetable salad. Have your salads of cabbage, carrots, cucumber. So at that time, you can't eat anything heavy. So fruit bites is going to help you. Vegetable salad is going to help you. Light meals would help. And also, you can't sleep immediately.
You have to do some
You have
work.
to at least wait for like 30 minutes to 1 hour, so that at least the food can be digested.
All right, in 30 seconds, what is the place of exercise in all of this, particularly when you're at the place of work? Because I know here in ITV, we'll be giving some time off to do a little bit of walking around and doing some exercise. Yes, it's sacrosanct here, you have to. So, what is the place of exercise in all of this?
It helps you to stay healthy, your vitality, and also when you sit for so long, it can be fluid build up. Sometimes it looks like your legs are swollen.
Yes.
So all of that helps to ease out, your tense muscles, help for blood flow, and helps you to retain your whole energy level and all of that. So walking around.
All right, Suzanne,
Yes,
this is
ma'am.
where I say thank you for finding time to be with us on this show.
ma'am.
And when next we meet on this platform, we're actually going to look at the place of exercise in workplace.
Yes,
so that you can at least teach all of us who are, who are not exercise inclined, all of this. Thank you so much, Suzanne. To continue with this conversation, please call us on 080-9414-0846, 080-9414-0846. This is what we're going to do today, and when next we meet, we'll talk about something else. So, in your workplace, your food and other habits should be taken seriously. We'll see you again. Bye-bye. Bye, Susan.
Thank you, Mom.